What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So yesterday I posted a video and I was talking about the $516 that would be needed in order to even out the purchasing power of people who are receiving Social Security. Because over the years, the cost of living adjustment has not kept up with inflation. And so in today's video, we're going to dive in a little bit deeper when it comes to the cost of living adjustment and why it's not working. So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you'll get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos here, so by clicking the bell notification and clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. And just a reminder, if you're not getting those notifications, let me know in the comments below, and follow me on Twitter at the TEC Show Live. Now, when you follow me on Twitter, please retweet the videos that I post, because I'll post videos on Twitter. So retweet those to your family and friends, and that does help out the channel. Okay, let's go ahead. I want to show you this article here, and this is coming from Motley Fool. And the interesting part about this, and you see it here, it says, could next year's Social Security COLA be just 3.1%? And so that's what is estimated right now. And this is the Senior Citizens League, that their estimation right now is that we're looking at a COLA of about 3.1%. And that would be far lower than what people received this year at 8.7%. And so it's going to be something that we are really going to need to pay attention to, because that's what we're looking at right now when it comes to COLA. Now, the reason for that is because inflation has been decreasing over the months. And so because inflation is decreasing, they're taking July, August, and September. They're taking those numbers, for those CPIW numbers, and that's how they're calculating COLA for 2024. And right now, the CPIW, the calculation's at 4.6%. So now you can see why the Senior Citizens League is looking at about 3.1%, because if it continues to decrease, it could be in that neighborhood where it's about 3% inflation. And if that's the case, then you're going to see that 3.1%, or you could see even less if inflation continues to decrease. So it's a good thing that inflation is decreasing. However, when we're looking at the COLA, we already know, and what they showed us here, and I was talking about this yesterday, but I want to really drive this home, because I think this is something that we really need to be paying attention to. So when we're looking at COLA, and what they did is they looked at COLA between January 2000 to February 2023, okay? The raise was 78%. So what they did is every year they took the COLA, and that was a 78% increase, okay? Now, that increase on average was 3.4%. However, when you look at the retirees, their expenses went up 141%, so 141.4%. That would mean that on average, you need to see a COLA of 6.2%. Now, we know on average, the COLAs aren't 6.2%, and they're going all the way back from 2000 to 2023. So 23 years, they're using that calculation. So it's showing you right here that COLA is not working. It's not effective. And so one thing that they wanted to do is they wanted to change the CPIW, and that's for wage earners, for urban wage earners. They wanted to change that to the CPIE. Now, even changing it to the CPIE, so CPI for the elderly, that still would not show a huge increase. Now, I don't have those numbers in front of me, but what really needs to happen is they need to have an increase to Social Security. They need to reform Social Security and add an increase to it, and then change the way we calculate CPI. So take it from CPIW, maybe move it to CPIE, but you need to catch up, because you're already $516 behind. So you need to bring it up to $516, and then you can start making these calculations when it comes to the cost of living every year. But that needs to happen, because it is just not working. And yesterday when I posted that video, I talked a little bit about it, but I kind of brushed over that. But that's the real important thing that we need to pay attention to. The fact that over the last 23 years, the COLA increases did not keep up with inflation and what elderly people spend on a daily basis. And so that is the major problem that we're seeing right now. Now, when it comes to Congress, will they do anything? Well, we don't know. right? And that's always the answer when it comes to politicians and it comes to these lawmakers. We don't know what they're going to do and when they're going to do it, because they've been talking about Social Security reform for years now and they haven't done anything. And that's where it comes to the American people to stand up and say, look, this needs to happen. This needs to happen now. And so one thing that I always tell people when it comes to these lawmakers, when it comes to politicians, the one thing that they fear the most is losing their job, okay, not getting reelected. And so that's when you need to get in there and talk to these politicians. They're now starting their campaign. So this is the perfect opportunity to go to the little town hall meetings that they have and talk with them and ask them those tough questions and really ask them, hey, what are you going to do for Social Security? The purchasing power for people receiving Social Security is not what it used to be, and really hold their feet to the fire when it comes to this whole situation, because this is something that is not going to get better. Even if they reform Social Security, which you have some lawmakers talking about right now, they want to reform Social Security, but you have a lot of them, they're not talking about an increase. They're not talking about expanding Social Security. They're just focused on the trust fund. We're going to focus on the trust fund so you won't see that 20% decrease, but we're not going to focus on the future when it comes to the cost of living adjustments. So the actual purchasing power that you're getting when you receive your benefits, they're not really focused on that. They just want to, the trust fund, we'll make sure that's okay, but we're not going to look at some of these other issues. And this is a serious problem. Over the last 23 years, we haven't seen the COLA increases that we should be seeing for people receiving Social Security. And so that's something else that needs to be addressed when it comes to reforming Social Security. The last time they reformed Social Security was in 1983. It's past due time for them to make some reforms to Social Security. And I think it's going to need to happen, obviously, because we only have 10 years before the trust fund runs out of money. And in that situation, that's when you'll see that automatic decrease of about 23%. So if that's the case, they're going to need to do something very fast. And this is the perfect opportunity for us to get out there, talk to these politicians, let them know that we know what's going on when it comes to Social Security. That way, they will at least think about that when they go to vote for these expansions to Social Security or reforming Social Security or whatever they want to push. They'll know that we're watching, and that might sway them to vote for some type of expansion, an expansion that needs to happen for people who are receiving Social Security. And so now is the time for us to really focus on these politicians. Now that they're running for re-election, everyone in the House is running for re-election, and then in the Senate you have a third of the senators running for re-election, and then of course you have the president running for re-election. And so this is the perfect opportunity for people to get out there and let these politicians know what's going on. Now, July, August, September, it's right around the corner. I'm gonna continue to do videos when it comes to the cost of living adjustment, that increase. So we're going to focus on that as well. So as these CPI scores come in, I definitely will let you know what's going on when it comes to that. Now, usually when we hear about the CPI score, we're hearing about the general CPI score. We're not hearing about the CPIW. So that might throw you off a little bit. Just like I said, the CPIW was 4.6, but the CPI, the overall CPI, was 4.9. So I will focus on both the general CPI, and then I will let you know what the CPIW is when we get into July, August, and September. If you guys have any other questions, post them down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Happy weekend, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.